Ultimate Spider-Man Web Warriors Season 3, Episode 1. Definitely an interesting episode, the Avenging Spider-Man. It was cool to get the Avengers in there. Of course, they did the tie-in with the Avengers from the actual Avengers cartoon. So it was pretty cool to get those characters in there. I personally haven't watched the Avengers cartoon since it started. I missed like the first couple of episodes and then I just never watched it. Like I have all of them except I think the first 3 or 4 recorded. So once I actually do watch those first couple of episodes, I'll be caught up. But it's the Avengers. I know what it's about. They did it. They basically changed the show and canceled the old Avengers show, which was amazing, unfortunately. And they kind of redid this one to fit more in with the films. They make the characters look more like the actors who play them in the films. So I know the basic gist of it. It's kind of like just the stuff between the movies and just some extra little storylines. So it was cool to get them in a Spider-Man episode. It was cool to have Spider-Man kind of come back. I feel like this show's been off forever. I wasn't even sure if it was on or not until honestly like a couple of weeks, like maybe 2 weeks before it actually came back on because I just looked it up. Like, what's going on with any of these shows? Because honestly, I don't watch Disney at all, so I never know when anything's coming on anymore. But it was an interesting first episode. I enjoyed it. The action was good. They fought Loki, so that's I don't know. It's just, they fought Loki, so it's no big deal. That's kind of just the first person they always fight. It was kind of interesting that they did that. Maybe they did it just because everyone's so used to Loki. That's probably why. And then, like I said, I don't know if they fought Loki again in the series, which they probably did, but or in the Avengers series. But it was interesting to watch them fight Loki again. Like I said, the action towards the end of the episode was cool. We had Doc Ock as our main Spider-Man villain, but Loki's been in Ultimate Spider-Man as well. They bring in a ton of villains for Ultimate Spider-Man from Avengers or whoever it may be. So it's not just Spider-Man characters anyway. So it wasn't anything huge to see Loki come back in. He was a good villain in this one. So was Doc Ock, especially with the Asgardian armor. He was a real big threat compared to when he's typically fighting, and Spidey can take him on by himself, do a couple of dodges, and tie the extra arms together, and then he's pretty much done. But in this case, he was way too powerful for that, so that was pretty cool. And Spidey had to use his mind games on him, which they do a lot for superhero shows, where they trick him like, "Hey, you're now like the subordinate to the stronger villain and stuff." And so he turns on Loki as soon as he gets damaged. But I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And of course, Spidey goes back to his old ways at the end. One thing that really surprised me about this, based on what I was looking up, like the couple of clips I actually saw of, I guess, Web Warriors, I don't know why they added the thing, yeah, subtitle. I thought this was kind of going to be a huge departure for the Ultimate Spider-Man series. I thought they were changing a lot of stuff. And they have an episode coming up that I'm sure a lot of you already know about, which is the Miles Morales stuff. Which, when I saw that, I think that's how I actually found out when the season was coming back on, or it was like right after I started looking up the series. But that when I saw that, I thought that's why it's called Web Warriors, because it's gonna be like the whole series from now on, or at least maybe this season, is gonna have like a really special like interdimensional based storyline where it's gonna be all sorts of crazy things going on, or where it's all the Spider-Man just throughout the whole season. Because I saw some other clips, and I think it is the Miles Morales episode where that's just like all Spider-Man from different dimensions, but unfortunately that's just one episode. And I thought, oh, it's gonna be like that for the entire season where they do like the interdimensional thing and stuff like that. But it seems like it's just gonna be another season of Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm not sure why they made the effort to put in an extra subtitle or anything. They didn't really change too much out of the show. But ultimately, I enjoyed the episode. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they come out with for the rest of this season. I definitely want to see more enemies come up, like some really cool enemies. They do like this show, as I'm sure a lot of you already know from season 1 and 2. It's really based on comedy, like Spidey breaking the fourth wall and stuff. And there aren't a ton of episodes. Like the action is good in the show, but there aren't really any episodes that really focus on the action. They have their action moments like this one does, or any other episode where they're fighting the villain, but it never really gets super serious. And that's what I want to see out of this show. I think it's admittedly a little too funny, especially considering Spider-Man does have some of the darkest stuff I think any superhero has had, especially considering he's actually a teenager. So it makes it a little bit darker because he's not like a 30-year-old or someone who's grown and lived a life. Not I won't say full life, but lived a life to like graduate college or even high school. he's in high school, and so when he loses someone, it's a bit more emotional than if someone was an adult and it happened. They'd be a bit stronger and able to deal with it more. So I'd love to see more series based stuff, and I don't know if the Miles Morales thing will sort of deal with that because they do talk about him actually being dead in the current Marvel universe, where Spider-Man is dead and Miles Morales is Spider-Man, or Peter Parker is dead and Miles Morales took over his place. But I'd love to see more serious tones in this, more action-based stuff because it's so serious, like it's a fight to the death type of thing, which technically it always is. But if they said that dialogue-wise, I think I'd enjoy that a little more for the series. I do enjoy the series. That's of course why I watch it. But this one was a good one. It was cool to get the action in there. The action with the Avengers was nice. We got a lot of different forms of action outside of just seeing Spidey and his team fight. So that was probably my favorite thing. And like I said, I don't watch the Avengers show, so I haven't seen them as the Avengers in this form, fighting a bunch of people throughout. I think the 30 episodes or so that they already have anyway. So it was really my first experience with this version of the Avengers. So it also had a better. It probably held better for me than it did for a lot of you who have already seen the Avengers show and have been watching that and waiting until Spider-Man came back on. So it wasn't really anything super special to you, but I definitely enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't really like about the episode, and this is just something with Ultimate Spider-Man in general that personally always kind of hit me the wrong way, and that's just how they use Venom. And it's because Venom isn't Venom the character in Ultimate Spider-Man. Venom is the symbiote, really. And so I always kind of hated that where we've had Venom in this show. It wasn't Eddie Brock. It was I can't even remember who it was. It was like sort of Norman Osborn, his son, but Harry. But when Harry was, kind of symbiote Spider-Man, which is probably my favorite episode, like that, and when they had a character who actually was Venom, those were probably my favorite ones because it was really dramatic and really serious. And like Harry being the symbiote Spider-Man was really cool because it's like, who's this symbiote Spider-Man? And then it was pretty serious for Peter, and that was, once again, it was a really serious thing. Like it was almost like he was addicted to the symbiote, which is a thing that happens with the symbiote. You kind of get addicted to that power. So that's why I love that episode so much. And also it kind of took Venom as Venom, even though it was Harry is kind of more like a symbiote Spider-Man instead of like the big bulky Venom. But they use Venom so much in this show, and it's never the character Venom. It's like they don't ever say it's the symbiote or we're using the symbiote on these things. They always specifically call it Venom, and that's, for anyone who really likes Spider-Man like I do, and like I love Venom. He's like my favorite villain in pretty much all comics. It kind of sucks when they kind of use him this way because it's like symbiote, and then it's not really special. Like it would be special if Venom actually came in. It would be special every single time, but it's just random enemies that are just black with the white eyes and crazy tongues, and then that's it. They just get defeated, and they were just covered in Venom, and that's it to me. So that was just something that's always affected me with the series. So honestly, it doesn't take this episode down because it's just like that's just Ultimate Spider-Man. Venom is rarely actually Venom. It's more like Venom is just the name they use for the symbiote. And I kind of, honestly, I just wish they would use the symbiote and not even use it at all completely, to be honest with you, because I prefer if it's saved for symbiote Spider-Man or actually saved for Venom, or the special stuff that they did with Harry was also really cool. But ultimately, enjoyed the episode. Really excited for the Miles Morales stuff, not just because Miles Morales would be in there, but also because that specific episode, which I'm also hoping is an hour-long thing, is the one where they bring in all the different Spider-Man from different dimensions. And, I feel like that's just automatically going to be the best episode of the season because, you're putting a bunch of different Spider-Man together and also giving Miles Morales his animated debut. So I'm excited for that, but also excited for what they're going to be doing for the rest of the season, how they're going to blend things in with the Avengers a little bit more, have them come back into the show, possibly, do some other stuff, kind of linking to the movies, possibly even linking to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, maybe, but I kind of doubt that, especially with the way they have Coulson actually in the show, who we didn't see in this episode, which was surprising because he's in the show. If I remember, I honestly don't remember what happened in the season finale too much, but I was pretty sure Coulson was still in this show. And I was also kind of surprised we didn't get Stanley as the janitor in like a random scene, because that's kind of one of the big things about the show. He's just the school janitor is just randomly there for funny scenes. But enjoyed the episode. Of course, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and what are you guys looking forward to this season? Are you even excited for this season? Have you kind of been iffy about the show in the past two seasons? Are you gonna keep watching? And just what do you think we're gonna actually get out of season 3 of Ultimate Spider-Man? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.